Today I've been looking at the concept of what I've called a harmonic filter, which I've been experimenting with. Let's turn it on and have a listen, then I'll explain what's going on, how it works, and finally how you can put this together if you're interested yourself. Okay, so what you were listening to at the beginning, or the introduction of this video, was simply a saw wave from analog here. Nothing special, just a simple harmonically rich tone, and that's going into here, what I've called the harmonic filter, which transforms it into something like this. Now, what's actually going on? Let's just turn this down a little bit and we can have a look at what's actually going on here. We have effectively 12 auto filters here, all chained together. And what's special, or why I've called it the harmonic filter, is that when we look at the frequencies, if we set the filter frequency down here to 0, let's reset these, turn off the drive a little bit, turn off this. If we look at our first filter, we see that it has, well, we're using bandpass filters, 12 bandpass filters here, and each one is tuned to a specific frequency. And this is all connected to the harmonic series. 65.4 Hertz is effectively C2 in the harmonic series, and then we have an additional 11 filters after this, each one then corresponding to the harmonic series when we're at a filter position of 0. So we have 2 times, what do we have, 65.4, so 2.65.4, 131, 3 times 65.4, all the way down to 12 times 65.4. So what we're doing effectively is, with our 12 bandpass filters with high resonance, we're emphasizing, I guess as Nick Batt would say, those sing-song harmonics. And that's what we're emphasizing here with these 12 filters. We're emphasizing these 12 harmonic frequencies. Now, I hope that's understood. Perhaps I can leave a link below to a wiki or something like that explaining the harmonic series if you're not familiar with it. And so that's how I've based this concept. I've taken these 12 harmonics and emphasized each of them with a band pass filter. Now, as I increase the filter frequency and move through the frequencies, I can't lock this, of course, to the, at the moment we're playing a C2 note here, so we're just playing C2. I can't lock this to, how do you say, to move in a specific way so that it would always emphasize the correct frequency. It doesn't work like that, but what I've done is I've limited the upper range here. We go back to the first frequency again. This now corresponds, so when the filter frequency is open to its maximum, this corresponds to the harmonic series at C6, which is 1.046 Hertz, I believe, and goes here on the 12th harmonic down to 12.6 kilohertz. So effectively we're sweeping between the harmonic series here between C2 and C6. When I move C2 to C6, we're going through the harmonic series all the way down to 65.4, and we're sweeping all the way up to the C6 harmonic series, which starts at 1.0446 Hertz, whatever it was. Okay, so I hope that's understood. What else do we have here? we have the resonance to emphasize those harmonics. But if we go down here, if we just play a single C2 note, we will see the fundamental played here, and then here we go. If we go up to now, well, let's have a look. The second one is at 131, so if we move our filter up to 131 very carefully, then we land on the next harmonic here. And as I say, up to the next one, 270, how far are we off? Oh, sorry, 270. I have to go back, my mistake, so let's start again. So sequence would be 65, 131, 196. Okay, so we go back to that one, we move that up to 196. We then move up here, approximately, to the next harmonic here. Okay, so that's what the concept is based around, using these 12 filters to achieve this. Then we have some other controls here. We have some very basic LFO controls. So we have the rate here, and then we have the amount. So we can sweep through these harmonics. Slow that down a little. Maybe turn that up perhaps. Might hear it. We can change the waves. Basic stuff. We can change the time mode. At the moment we're in time, it allows us to have very slow rates. Here we can go up to almost 200 seconds. Use it very, very slowly, or we can use it a bit faster. I say we can change the time mode, we can go to sync divisions, etc. We also have here envelope amount. Go there. Speed that up a little bit. All kinds of crazy possibilities here. Then of course we have drive circuit here. We can drive. We can change our circuit. See that here, the MS2. We're on now. I've limited the drive to 20%. I've also put here control over the output level here. And then finally, what we have is a pan spread, which when we, let's play something a bit more, let's go back to the chords. And that allows us to spread these emphasized harmonics across the stereo field. Create some nice tones. And that's not the end of it, because this is an effect bank, an effect track. If we want to change the incoming signal, then that also has a large effect. So we go back to our analog here. If we give this on its filters and resonance, and then adjust the frequency here so that we change the input signal, we can get even richer tones. You can switch here to a 24 decibel tone. Lots of things to explore, lots of fun. Now, let's reset this back. Come out of here. Of course we could put another oscillator on. Okay, I think you get the idea there. Turn that one back off again. Let's turn off the LFO. Okay, what else do we have then? Well, let's turn that down again. The one thing is, because it's emphasizing the harmonics, it doesn't behave like you'd imagine a filter to behave. It's not like a low pass cutoff where it cuts off certain frequencies, or a high pass where you cut off the lower frequency. It doesn't behave in that manner. So as you move up and down the keyboard, if we go to C3, let's go up to C3. It just emphasizes the frequencies in that octave. So you get, remember, we're just have this coming in. If we go a bit higher, we go to a C4. And one thing I've noticed is you get these sort of very sort of creamy tones. You don't get very sharp tones. It's quite a pleasing sort of filter effect. Maybe we can hear that here in. Let's go down to held C0, very low, to turn this up again. Get these very sort of, I'd say, creamy tones. Yeah, let's reset that. So it's a very interesting sort of filter idea, I thought. Of course you can, say, modulate this, drive it. Very nice, I find. Let's go up to C2. The held note. So as I say, it doesn't behave like a typical filter would behave, like a low passer. It's a very different sort of approach. Anyway, let's have a look how it's put together. It's actually very simple. It takes a little bit of CPU. That's the only thing you have to watch out for. I mean, we've got 12 filters running here. But if your system can manage it, then it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's have a look. We need to take from the audio effects, we need an audio effect rack. If we just drag that into here, we'll have this. I've kept my original one with the names. We'll open that up. You'll be presented with 6 macros here. We need to increase this to 14 for this rack. We'll also click here the chain. We'll be using the chain. Right, so the next thing we need is the auto filter itself. Just drop one in. Then we need to do a little bit of setting up. We'll set this one here. We'll set the clip activated. We'll also change this to a band pass. Now we need to map our controls to the macros. We have the frequency, the resonance, the filter slope here, the 12, the LFO amount here, the LFO rate here, the wave, and the mode here. We'll come back to this in a second. Then we have the envelope amount here, the attack here, this value, the release of the envelope, filter envelope, the circuit for our drive here, SVF, the drive control itself, and the pan spread we'll come back to in a second. We need to just hop out now, and we need to change the time mode here. Just rotate that until you see we have an unmapped control here. Back in here, map that here, the time. We also map to the rate here. And back out again, and we rotate that one more time, and then we get the rate here. Same thing again. Map the rate to the LFO rate here. And I think that's the final one. Just double check. Any more? Oh, there's one more. Here we go. So we're back in again. Map that, the rate here to the LFO rate, and that means now that we have control over all of the different possibilities within the LFO here. So I like to keep it on time. That's quite nice. Okay, so that's done. Then once we've finished that, we can simply duplicate this. We need 12 of these, so let's duplicate this. Do that once. Duplicate again. I'll just use the Shift command there to select them all, and we'll select these 4, and I'll duplicate that twice again. 1, 2, and that's it. Right, we have those set up. Now we go to the bottom. We need to count up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the 8th one. Then we need to map this pan here for these 8, the last 8, to the pan spread. Do that quickly. And once we have that done, it's really just a case of, okay, that's all done. Just a case of now going in here and applying our constraints. So I'll put a screenshot of all these at the end, so you can jump to the back if you don't want to go through this. We leave all these as they are. Where's the pan gone? Oh, I missed this one here. So this one, we need to, the chain panorama, it's just down from the top. We need to set these to the following values. Now I should have done this is my mistake, I should have done this at the beginning. We need this one here mapped here. I should have done that one on the first one, then I could have just copied them all, but okay. Okay, so they're mapped. Let's go back to those. I thought there was something missing. So those we don't need to change, but I was just curious where they were. Right, so we come down here. The next one we have to change. Let's have a look. The LFO amount we don't have to change. They're okay. The filter resonance I set to 90. Just go through these quickly. It's a little bit tedious having to do all these. In fact, it might have been better to put the constraints in at the beginning and then duplicate, but there are some constraints that need these ones here, in particular the filter frequency. So we have to set these ones now to the values which allow us to have our 12 filters set to the harmonic series. So these are the most important values, I guess, for setting up this filter. So we'll type them in now. Okay, so they're all set up. Then we don't have to do anything with the envelope release, that's okay. The envelope attack, we don't have to change either, they're okay. Filter drive, I changed the filter drive down to 20%. You can adjust this however you like. Okay, and I think we're almost there. We don't have to change the filter circuits in any way, so that's it. Those are the settings. Just have a double check, make sure we've not missed anything. LFO amount, frequency, no, I think that's okay. Right, well pan is all done. Let's try it out, see what happens. Oh, there's one final thing as well. I've excluded the output level here from the macro randomization. I've also excluded the drive, right click, exclude that from the randomization, and the circuit from the randomization. The rest can all be randomized with the randomize button. So anyway, let's try and bring back the tone, see what we get. Seems to be working. See if let's turn the output level down a bit. I'd recommend as well on the main here, I have a limiter. It's a good idea to have a limiter when you're messing around with these kind of volume levels and frequencies. Okay, so we'll have that down. See if the pan spread works. Yep, seems to be working okay. LFO. Change the wave. Okay, so everything seems to be working. Drive's working. Pan spread. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope, as always, useful to somebody. Have a go. It's an interesting filter design. It takes a bit of CPU. I'm running an i7, 4 GHz processor. Bit of an old machine. Seems to manage it fine. Just watch out for that. Enjoy your day. Take care, and see you in the next one.